Hi there. You can see I've got this Honda 500T up here that we've been doing bits and bats on across the last couple of weeks, and we've done one or two things. We've got the brakes sorted, we've got some comedy handlebars have been removed and these have been put on. We put a new switch on there because the switch was had been bodged up, you know, to put a starter earth onto the handlebar. We've got the lights mounted where they should be now, and the wiring sorted out down here, and it's just looking a lot prettier. So the engine casings are quite sad and tarnished looking. The clutch cover's particularly scabby. So things like the cam end covers, the generator cover here, and the clutch cover at the other side, we're going to polish those up and just make the bike look tons better. It really puts a smile on the bike. Let's have a look at what I'm going to use to do that with now. So this bike looks a wee bit careworn and tired just now. So elements here are really quite grubby, and the aluminium in these parts is quite tarnished. So how would I clean that up? I have a number of things. These are polishing wheels. They're made of a thing called sisal, and sisal's a kind of a historical thing they used to make string out of back in the day. But they make great polishing wheels, and you put compound on like this. This is a cutting compound, and it comes in a number of different kind of densities and colours. This is the brown one, and it's more aggressive than the blue one. I tend to find the blue one does pretty much everything I need it to do, so I just tend to stick with that, which is why this is hardly worn at all. So I would take the worst off with this at first, and then we'll move to the smoother wheel and we'll polish it up with that. So we'll work on these areas here and we'll put a shine on those, and this will look really tons better than it does now. To clean between the fins of the engine round there, this is a Scotch-Brite wheel, and if you just went on a Scotch-Brite disc, if you just went on eBay and Google or search for a Scotch-Brite disc, it'll throw something like this one. This one's quite worn and tired, so I'll need to get another one, but it'll still do for this one today. So I'll get in there and it'll clean out all between the fins and make them look a lot nicer and cleaner, and just take away the accumulated detritus of 20-30 years of sitting doing nothing, or indeed of boring along the road. You know, but they get dust in there and just general grab. So we'll clean this up, we'll polish these, but one of the best candidates for a really good show of before and after is this, and it's the clutch housing, the clutch cover, the little mechanism that operates the clutches in there. Very grubby. And what you can see there, let me just get a bit closer, it's all different kind of colours of, you can see the lacquer where the lacquer's still on it, and some areas where it's gone off. So to cut through that lacquer and get back to the parent metal and put a shine on that, if you're using a metal polish, it would take you hours, it might take you days. And this is, I'll put this in the vise, I'll grip it somewhere that it doesn't matter. I'll pop this in the vise and we'll polish this up, and it will look fantastic. We'll go on the other side then and we'll polish up the actual clutch housing on the other side and the oil filter housing. We'll polish that up. These are fortunate enough that, in that they never had a painted cover, they had a polished aluminium cover, so although it looks a bit tired just now, it's probably a better candidate than say the CL350 that was painted and it was a bit more coarse. To put a really nice finish on, these are a great bike to do that with. So let's make a start and we'll see what we can do with it. I may put a mask on for this because this is aluminium dust that comes off these. It's horrible stuff, and I think I've said before, it's associated with Alzheimer's, and you know, Alzheimer's is no laughing matter for anyone, is it? So I'll get my little wheel and my arbor, I'll just somewhere lying around here. I had it a moment ago. The arbor goes in there. It's here, right. So this arbor just goes in there. You can just run it in with a drill and it'll grip it. One warning I would give you is that this is savage on the drill, and you can probably just see, maybe not, the bearing in there is pretty short now from doing this. It's tough on the bearing. They aren't made to run for minutes and minutes and minutes at a time. These things are made for popping a hole in. So put a little bit of this on. Let me just do it right in front of you to show you how much to put on. You don't put tons on, and that's enough. So let's do this. I'm going to put a mask on. And you can see how quickly we're starting to cut through all that grime and get it down to the parent metal below and put a really nice shine on it. I'm going to just show you quickly how we'd clean up the smaller areas. And we have a smaller arbor here with just a tiny cutting wheel on. So I'll just have a work there. And let's just give this a bit of love. You can see already with that cam cover compared to its friend there. Actually, that's the points. That's the points cover. But you can see how much that's starting to come up just in a minute or two compared to its friend there, that end cap. So I'm going to carry on polishing that a wee bit there and just get that dirty bit off, and then I'm going to put a shine on it for you. Sometimes it's great to put these things in the vise and work on it there, but actually it's held so firmly there. One of the best places for it is on the bike, so I'll just carry on with that there for a moment. I can't bear the mask any longer. I will put my glasses on. Vicissitudes of age. And there with the bits where the screws are, I'm going to take this out and pop it in the vise in a minute or two, and then I can get to those better. But right now, for the purposes of this, I'll just polish this bit forward. So I'll get the other wheel now. And this is just the same as this wheel, but a smaller one that gets in the nooks and crannies of a smaller bit of equipment we're polishing. Put some polishing gear on, a bit of the blue again. And then it'll put a residue on there now, but it'll polish it off quite quickly. You see the residue it's put on there, that's really quite common. That'll just polish off. And that is already, as you can see, a shine you can see your face in. I'd defy anyone to say that's not a great result for a few minutes work. Of course, you know, I've got to do quite a bit more in that little space, but just as a demonstration, it really shows you what you can achieve in a short period of time. Likewise here, I'm going to put a shine on that now as well for you. I need to cut that a bit more with the big wheel, so I'm going to do that just a bit more because there's still a bit of tarnishing to get off there. So I'll give that a bit more love with the big wheel. Put a bit of gunk on. Oh, sorry, the juggler. Okay, and that's all you need. So. Okay, let's see if it'll take a shine. Right, I've got the polishing wheel on here now. Put a bit of magic gunk on it. And I'll start to polish this up. Right, I defy anyone to say that's not a good result for a few minutes work. The amount of investment required to do this is minimal. These wheels here, you buy a set of these. There's the cutting wheel and the polishing wheel, and a kind of super polishing one, which is this little fella here. Okay, I can't find it. If I find it, I'll show it to you. And the cost would be less than £20, and you're going to put hundreds of pounds of value onto your bike for them for that cost. The cutting compound costs nearly nothing, it's just a few quid, and everyone's got a pistol drill, so why wouldn't you do this and spend time on your bike putting value into it? I'm going to start working around here now and polish all this up. In fact, I'm not going to do that now. What I'm going to do now is the clutch cover, because that's going to show you perhaps one of the most startling results from something that's very heavily discoloured with a lot of lacquer still stuck to it, discoloured lacquer, and quite a lot of corrosion on the face of the plate. So we'll do that now, and let's see how quickly we can get a result doing that. Alright, quite often with these, one of the hardest things is finding somewhere to grip the clutch cover in that's not going to, because it's, it's all sorts of different shapes, but we've got somewhere to grip it there. Across these two screw mountings that'll grip it quite firmly, but it's not going to damage it. So I'll put my gloves back on, and we'll put the coarse cutting wheel into the drill. I'll put a little bit of bongo on it. Move that. And I will put my mask on for this, because I'm going to get very close to it. And you can see already how it's torn down through that lacquer, but it's not putting any marks on the face of the cover. It's still polishing it nicely, but it's getting right down through that lacquer. I'm going to put some more coarse cutting compound on here. Right, I'm sure you'll get the idea now. You can see already what a massive difference we're making to this. So I'm going to carry on polishing this. It's now about 10 minutes to 5. So I'm going to switch this off now, and I'll come back on when I've finished it, and you can see the difference it makes and how long it takes. I'll speak to you in a few minutes. Okay. It was actually 3 minutes to 5 when I switched the camera off. It's now 20 minutes past, and that's what we've got. Tell me that doesn't look fantastic. There's still a bit of residue on there, as you can see where my thumb probably is, and I need to do a bit more work around the bottom. You can see all around the bit that anyone could see. Look how that's come up around there. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a great investment of your time into your bike. So that's that one out of the way. I'm going to carry on polishing this over here now. Just move that. I'm going to carry on polishing this round here now, and then I'm going to go around and polish the. I'll probably turn the bike round, and we'll polish the clutch cover up at that side right in front of you. Okay, thanks guys. See you in a wee minute. I think you'll agree that's an absolutely massive boost to the bike's appearance from where we started not long ago. You know, the shine you can put on these things with a little effort is absolutely astonishing, and it looks absolutely great now. So we're going to go and do the other side now, and let's have a look at that. There are a few parts on any motorcycle that lend themselves as well to being painted as the clutch cover on the CB CL450 and its variants. It's polished aluminium. This one's looking quite discoloured and tarnished, but it will come up and it will look absolutely fantastic when we've polished it. Likewise, these little covers here on the end of the cams, they look a bit scabby. So what I'm going to do here is I'll take these screws out because I can't get in and polish that properly. I'll leave probably one in, but these are really firmly locked into the engine in both of these, and if I stick a screwdriver in those and try and get them in, it's just it'll probably just tear the centre out of the screw, and we're in a sticky place. So how would I deal with that? Let me just set this up. And this is a driver set I've got from, this is a Swedish one actually, it's made by a company called Magnus, and it's really good gear. But that's exactly the right bit end for the screw. So if I just put that in there now, it feels like it's really got a firm fit, but if I just put it on and twist it, it will just pull the end off the screw. So what I'm going to do now is get my little hammer, just a small hammer, 1 pound, I think it's 3/4 pound hammer. Give that a few good taps, and it does two things. It shocks the thread, and that's really important because that'll help it really come free. So it shocks the thread and it rams that driver right into the aperture, and you can see it's sitting there on its own without any support from me at all because it's locked so firmly into the screw. And as I say again, the shock of that striking the thread will probably make this come. Now it was firm and you had it crack as it came free, so we'll do the same with this one. Pop it in there, a few taps, just to shock that thread, put the driver back on, and then, nope, that's just not quite wanted to come, so I'm going to give it another wee tap. And make sure I'm pressing it fully in. There we are, it's come now. But it's a case of being patient with them. Don't try and, if it looks like it's not going to go, as you saw me there, just have another go before you try and put too much leverage on that thread. There we are. So that's 3 of them out now. I'm going to leave the last one in, and I'll clean these screws up separately after I've polished up the little housing, so it'll all look nice. That screw's under there somewhere. I will find it in a minute. I've taken the kickstart off so I can get into it a bit better. And so let's get my pistol drill with my coarse sisal cutting wheel on it, and we'll start there and then running out of battery. One moment. Put my other battery in. The deliberate mistake is I've not put my mask on, which I'm going to do. such horrible stuff. I'm sure you get the idea. We'll come back to that in a few minutes. Now I'll just put the little cutting wheel on now, polishing wheel, and just clean these edges. Now you can see what a difference that's made in a few minutes. Let me just get you a bit closer to it. You see that looks absolutely fantastic now. I haven't done the cam cover, the cam little cases yet on the end of the cam box, but the clutch cover is starting to look really, really nice. And I have to do a little bit of work on these elements yet, and that's, I'm just going to get in there by hand. I've nothing small enough to get in there, likewise around there. But the part that everyone can see looks absolutely brilliant. That's well worth the effort. I think you'll agree, we've got a great finish on this now. It looks absolutely fabulous. I just love these covers and I love these engines. They're such a great engine. I've got these cleaned up as well. They look really super. The little nooks and crannies, there's not a lot you can do with mechanical gear unless you've got maybe a tiny Dremel or something, I don't know. But you have to do those by hand. But by and large, there's enough flat surface that you can get an absolutely fabulous finish on almost all of it, and then just finish off by hand. And you don't need any more than one of these, which I'm sure you've all got at home, and some of these things. So as I say, it's not massively expensive, and it's something that's achievable to just about everybody. So next time you see this bike, get all of its clothes on. I should be getting its tank and panels back this week from my friend at Spray Tank, and next time you see it, we'll take it out for a wee ride. So look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks, bye.